Strange.
Welcome to the morning shoot around here on the Athletic NBA Daily. You know, sometimes you make a plan and you think, oh, that's a pretty solid plan for a podcast. And then Chris Paul gets sent home in the middle of the night. And you're like, you know what? There might be a little bit more interesting story. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. With me, Dave DuFour, Baraheni, Zena, Keita. And the Clippers, you know what? Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse for the Los Angeles Clippers, you know, you have this investigation that's following you. You're losing all these games. You're sending away a Hall of Famer and perhaps one of the best players to ever put on a Clippers jersey. And you're just like, you know what? We'd rather not.
Wow.
And that's where we find ourselves here today. Just your general thoughts on this Chris Paul debacle that has happened in LA.
Well, since the reporting has come out in the 7 hours since it's happened or something, it happened at like 3:30 in the morning Eastern time.
I am tired.
With all the reporting that's come out, it seems as though Chris Paul was trying to be a voice in the locker room or in the organization, be keeping people accountable. And that didn't seem to rub the right way with some of the people in the Clippers organization, between Kawhi maybe, between Ty Lue maybe, between Lawrence Frank. To me, it just seems so funny that a guy was like, hey, we should keep players and teams and the front office accountable. And they're like, we don't like that. We don't like the idea.
Well, it's also like, what do you expect? This is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Right. You've known his personality for 21 seasons. Like we know who Chris Paul is. And the fact that you're saying that he was, or the sources are saying that his leadership had become disruptive is silly. Like that
disruptive
is exactly
to who?
What he's brought into
you know, like that's the thing to me.
Question.
It's like disruptive to who? Because all of the reporting we've heard over the last few years about the Clippers is that they were we've talked to Law about this a million times, but like they're very tight-lipped about Kawhi injuries and the process that has to happen with like how open they are with injury updates, et cetera, et cetera. They're also not very like open to how they are operating in general. I mean, the aspiration thing is obviously looming, but it just feels like organizationally they operate like that. And so this is an insane way to tell on yourself. If you're saying there's this guy here who is trying to keep us accountable and we don't like that. We don't like that there's someone here that's going to try to lay the law. I don't know. I think that's the craziest part about this whole thing, is that it's just the Clippers telling on themselves for their process since Steve Ballmer took over, you know?
No, the craziest part to me is the fact that aspiration has been tied to this team all year. Like there's nothing aspirational about the way that the Clippers have been moving at all. And I'm like particularly annoyed, not just because I'm a Demon Deacon and hurt from my boy Chris, but the level of disrespect, like the entire summer, this whole thing about where's Chris Paul going to land? Like there was all this hoopla, all of this momentum around him going back to LA, him getting to retire with this team. And that's the part that like we're not emphasizing enough. He was coming back to retire with this team.
Yeah.
And this is a legend. Okay. We just had our top 25 best players in the 20th century. He's in our top half. Okay. He's one of the best point guards of all time. And you're telling me that because Chris Paul was Chris Paul, the Chris Paul he's been since Wake Forest, the Chris Paul he's been in all the stops that he's made, is a coach on the bench and a coach on the floor and a coach in the locker room. And you're telling me that we're going to part ways with that in the midst of you going through not just a losing spell, but like one of the most egregious losing spells where your star players are like, everything's wrong in every way. Things are weird. You've got this dark cloud over your organization because of this aspiration deal that's been on the side. That person that is tied to that, Kawhi Leonard, yes, he's been good, but Dave, you mentioned this on our pre-call. Good does not necessarily mean impacting winning because it hasn't happened. And a person is trying to hold y'all accountable to it. A person who can impact winning and has impacted winning doesn't have championship, but that doesn't mean he hasn't impacted winning. And you're saying we're good as laid out like that. The disrespect is so crazy to me. And it goes bigger than just Chris. It's just like these organizations putting these crappy rosters together, seeing the results. And I appreciate the fact that Lawrence Frank said, we're not blaming Chris Paul for our loss, like in our losses and our underperformance is what he said. But that doesn't really help the matters.
That's the bare minimum of what he could have done.
Yeah, exactly. And so all of this is disrespectful to Chris. However you feel about Chris Paul, whether you like his personality or not, the where he stands in the game, you don't do a Hall of Famer like that, especially at 2:40 in the morning on the East Coast. Like, wild.
You guys probably heard Law lay out the timeline of the last few weeks and how weird everything's been. Chris Paul announcing his retirement, the team not making him available to the press, like for comments. Friend of the show, Harrison Fagan, actually had a really funny story to relay. He was at a Clippers game last week, and they had a CP3 appreciation night, and a friend of his, long-term Clippers fan, compared it to a family giving their dog one last great day before sending them off to the farm. And like, did the Clippers old yeller Chris Paul? This team is so weird that they can't even say. I mean, we all have an opinion on Chris Paul on the court and Chris Paul like as an antics guy, right? Like we all kind of have this opinion. And it's not often that you find everyone siding with Chris Paul in an argument.
Yeah.
Right.
I bet you Scott Foster even agrees with Chris Paul.
Right.
I would say, like, funniest thing is if Scott Foster releases a statement, please, come on, do it. Be really, I mean, these referees, they want to be podcasters. That's what we would do. And so I just, they can't even do this. And look, Chris Paul over the last few years, whatever, look at where he's been and look at the track record of success. And frankly, the Clippers coming out and trying to bury him after the fact only looks bad on the Clippers. Like it only looks bad on, it looks like covering your ass, frankly. And now you're trying to say Chris Paul was a problem in the locker room. And I mean, look, whether he was or not, I find it disrespectful that you're pushing him off the team and then you're dumping that stuff. It just makes you look guilty and bad. And look, you're bad anyway. Maybe they just don't want to rub their stink all over Chris Paul on his way out. I don't know.
No, that's giving them way too much credit.
I agree. And Chris Paul is not a good player, right? I'm not saying that this is a guy that they couldn't release or whatever. Like by all means, the way that it was handled and the way that it was done just it makes no sense to me with the way that the NBA works. And like, it's just disrespectful to a guy that at this point is on his way out. And they wouldn't have done this to a guy if he was 33 years old. Do you know what I mean?
I thought Law made a great point too, but it's like the Clippers have done this before. Like people will remember the Blake Griffin saga and how they traded him on a random night and decided that he was going to be sent off to Detroit, and how disrespectful that whole thing was. I mean, if you remember when Blake came back to LA and Steve Ballmer wanted to shake his hand and Blake ran right past him. Like that's the level. Like, and by the way, Blake and Chris Paul are arguably two of the GOATs of that franchise,
of that organization.
How do you parse through an organization that consistently, one, disrespects his guys, two, has no idea how to maneuver? Like, let's be real. Chris Paul,
these are business guys, man. They're not basketball guys.
Decision.
Yeah, and you can't run it. It's a relationship. Basketball is a relationship business, period. And you can't run this business like you do your cutthroat, whatever, with the fake money business, right? Like this is one where you actually have to deal with people face to face, people who have more power than you do. Because I mean, for the
social
most part,
capital, more.
That's right. I can't tell you, like Steve Ballmer. Okay, yeah, he's famous because he's one of the richest guys in the world. But most of these guys, I don't know who they are. I don't care. You don't score any points. You got no buckets in you. So who do I care? Like, what do I care who you are? And so I don't know. The whole thing is just, it's a bad way to treat people. And I mean, look, the Clippers are never going to win. They're just never going to win like this.
Well, that's my thing is like, if they're not only never going to win, for me, I'm looking at the act in itself, crazy, messy, disrespectful, whatever. But then I'm like, okay, let me take my emotions out of the situation for Chris Paul, take my emotions for the situation out of respect as a basketball fan.
Yeah.
How does this make sense for you, Clippers, if you want to be a landing spot for any talent moving forward?
Yeah.
Like, people are seeing this trend. I mean, the starting five made very clear how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander felt about his trade away from the Clippers, right when he was on the cusp of getting something
Another
going.
player that was pretty disrespected. Yeah.
Another player that was disrespected, right? So that was already on a spotlight. The Kawhi thing was already on a spotlight. And that the way that was handled was so strange. And then, as you mentioned, in Law Murray's piece that everyone should go read, that broke this down, the early bits of this story around Chris Paul, he reminded me, I forgot the Eric Bledsoe situation, John Wall situation. Like, the fact that these guys went to the Clippers, left, and never played an NBA game again. If I'm an NBA player, especially in my mid-career, or I'm trying to like land somewhere, why would I choose the Clippers? And this is the track record.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, not only from a business perspective, right now, you're not going to win. Move Chris Paul, don't move Chris Paul. You're not winning, period. To do this I'm very curious as to what it's going to do in the locker room. But for your future, how do you think you're going to attract people? There's look to your partner to the north. And again, talking about the Warriors, but look to your partner to the north. There's a reason why they're able to get free agents outside of their money being tied up. People want to go work and play in areas and places that they feel wanted and desired and respected. Clippers, what's happening? Or excuse me, you don't even have to look to the north. Look across the street.
Right. That's what I was about to say.
The Lakers make every player that comes through feel like they are a superstar. Come on. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, and part of the reason why they may have gotten players is because they were, our colleague Pablo Torres revealed a lot about some of the things that have gone on behind the scenes.
Right, what they were promising.
They may have gotten players for different reasons, rather than what's going on there. So they are in an awful, awful spot. And I do think that the decision-making from the front office has been a huge part of it. Lawrence Frank, he did take accountability, but I think it goes back really far for all the errors that he has made. Yeah. So he's drafted. Everybody's like, well, he doesn't have any draft picks. Since he's been the GM of the Clippers.
Oh, the drafts have been terrible. Yeah.
He's drafted 8 players inside the top 35. 8. Guess how many of those have turned out to be good?
I'm going to say 0.
It's 1. It's
Shai.
Oh, Shai. Oh, right. Shai. Yeah, right.
Well, here are the names of the guys they've picked in the
top.
He
didn't even draft Shai, right? He didn't even draft Shai. He traded for Shai, which is a different thing. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But he acquired him. On draft night.
Yeah.
Jerome Robinson.
Yeah, I knew that was the only one I could think of.
Fiondu
Kabengele. The Wizards love Jerome Robinson.
Hey, Fiondu Kabengele, by the way, great international career. He's hooping. Just want to put that out there. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, feather in their cap then. Daniel Oturu, who had the legendary tank game in OKC during the pseudo bubble. I was at that game, and the amount of post-ups that my guy Daniel Oturu got during that game was amazing. Keon Johnson.
Legendary Brooklyn Net, Keon Johnson.
Yeah.
He was picked 21st. They actually made another draft night trade, I believe, that night, and traded the rights to Quentin Grimes to acquire him. So,
Terrence Mann, did they not draft Terrence Mann, or
he was not inside the top 35?
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm just like quality draft picks where you can
find someone,
players, but the fact that they've missed 7 times. Jason Preston, ever heard of him? Kobe Brown. And then Niedenhauser, who they drafted at 30 in this past draft. It's like, man, they have
human white flag, as Dave calls him.
They have not nailed
my God.
Not even a guy who's like, hey, he became a rotation player.
Yeah.
Like not even really that out of all these drafts. And then that doesn't even factor in some of the trades. Now they've made some good free agent acquisitions through the years and have made some nice moves here and there. But the trades are astounding. It goes back to the Shai trade was obviously a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people realize, because the Thunder have the Clippers pick this year and next year.
Oh yeah.
Next year's pick wasn't a part of the Shea trade. Next year's pick was a part of the James Harden trade. So like that pick was acquired in the James Harden deal. The Thunder just kind of snuck themselves in there and like, hey, we'll have another one, please. And they gave it to him. And so if you want to like talk about like embarrassment, listen, if you are Lawrence Frank, you got to hang up the phone if Sam calls. Like if Presti pops up on that caller ID, you send that to voicemail, my friend, because
Presti is treating Lawrence Frank like the girl will always pick up.
I would be calling if I was Sam Presti, I'd be like 3-way call with Joe Dumars and Lawrence Frank right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean,
guys, let's work something out.
The fact that like they pulled off that deal, and a lot of it was like the first like big trade. There was strange leverage that would never exist in any other trade scenario ever, because you have Kawhi going here and they need Paul George to make it happen. And so the Thunder are just like, yeah, we'll take everything. And they were like, how about not everything? And he's like, everything. And they had to do it. They had no choice. But then for the Thunder to sneak back in and to grab another Clippers pick in that James Harden deal is just, I mean, it's really, really bad.
Obviously incredible work by Sam Presti, but so much of what OKC is now is brought to you by the failures of the LA Clippers. Because
the championship trophy should say the Thunder of the champions brought to you by the LA Clippers.
Honestly,
and then a little thing at the bottom, like hat tip aspiration,
thank you, aspiration and the LA Clippers for this title and the future of the team. I mean, the players that the Thunder have gotten so far has really just been Shea and J-Dub. But when you think about this next draft, this could be like the next big piece added to the Thunder if the Clippers continue to head down this road.
Next year as well.
And then the following year too.
The contract staggered.
How is it going to get better?
Yeah, exactly.
Next year.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not going to get better. And so they could be getting 2 Clippers lottery picks 2 years in a row as they are entering the overlapping primes of Shea, J-Dub, and Chet.
Yeah.
Clippers need to trade Kawhi and try to get into next year's draft. They need to just start moving guys and try to get into next year's, try to get a draft pick.
So look,
who would trade for Kawhi? You know what, man? You'd be amazed at who would trade for Kawhi Leonard. And I think James Harden still has value too. I
think the guy to trade would be James Harden, because he's been great this year. He's been their only bright spot. And 2, I think this is kind of a side story to all of this, but there's so many point guards available, and I don't think any of them are as good as James Harden right now.
Definitely not.
And plus, like you have that luxury of Harden being on a shorter term contract. And that element adds to his trade value. So like, to me, I'm thinking Minnesota wants to go out and trade for a point guard. James Harden is your point guard. I don't know. I'm just thinking like teams who want point guards.
I don't want to take the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands.
Yeah,
right?
That's fair. Yeah.
And so like when I think about point guard for Minnesota, the guy that they really need, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Right, that they lost, because he would be perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Perfect. Next, they need more of a combo guy who can guard up a little bit too sometimes. And
Eric White would be the real.
Yeah, so he would be perfect for every team. He's the ideal. One of the best pick and roll ball handlers during the course of his career. But I just don't. I don't know if Harden's a fit because of that. Right. Harden Gobert pick and roll would be hard to stop.
See, this is my thing though. Like you could feasibly convince yourself that's something the Timberwolves would try and do if the cost is right.
I know that they're looking.
And so I don't know. Timberwolves are just one example, but there's value in James Harden. Kawhi, I feel like, is a lot harder.
He's actually, he's been good. And the thing about it is it's the baggage that comes with Kawhi Leonard. Why would you want to get in the Kawhi Leonard business at this point, outside of if you're, trying to do something like with money outside of the NBA regulations?
I can't think of a single team right now.
Like, hey, Kawhi, teach us how this worked. It's
a combination of thinking of a single team that would want to have him join as the difference maker, or a team that would just want him because it would just be a boom, period. Would Kawhi want to join them? I don't even know if he would have that option, but
yeah,
it feels like the Clippers would give him the heads up.
And like
If you
trading
want to.
Harden and Kawhi, is that enough to quote unquote reset your deck?
No.
No.
The answer is no. Like they're not getting quality quality assets to reset anything. What they really are wanting to do is to reset their cap sheet, and having those guys, basically they have this year and next year.
Yep.
And if you're the Clippers, I don't think that they trade either one of those guys, just because I think it's more valuable for them to reset their cap sheet than it is to acquire what are you going to get? Like the 20?
They're going to be bad whether they're on the team or not.
And you know what? Do you trust Lawrence Frank to, even if you get draft picks, to make the right pick?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. There's no way that come on. I don't ever like to speculate. I don't want to talk about a guy like losing his job. Got plenty of money, I think, not to count anybody's bank account, but there's no way Lawrence Frank is the GM of this team for the next phase. It can't after the track record. There's no way, unless there's just some wild stuff happening.
Or Dave, he knows too much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Listen, I haven't seen any top secret documents. I read a bunch of emails a couple weeks ago. I did not see any recognizable names, so I don't know if it's anything. I don't know how dark the rabbit hole is for the Clippers, but like it is strange to me. And the thing is, like we heard about like Ty Lue and Chris Paul not talking for the last few weeks. Ty Lue is another guy. Like,
yeah, when does that?
How insulated are you as a coach?
Yeah,
to get off to a start like this after the year they had last year, where they felt like they had a chance to win the title. Like, and we've all made this argument. You know, they pushed the Nuggets to 7. They matched up well with the Thunder, right? I mean, if they had made the finals, I think that they match up even better against the Pacers. So it's I don't know, man. It's notoriously a weird thing.
Good friend of Chauncey Billups, by the way.
They're loyal to everyone there, apparently, except for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Chris Paul doesn't have the deets, man.
Chris Paul's doing it all above board. I don't know.
I feel bad because I do feel like, you know, you spend time away from this franchise, this organization that you helped build and helped elevate, and I'm sure Chris Paul had some affinity to wanting to improve what was going on, and probably the passion behind 100%. It was a little bit too much.
He did an interview with ESPN before the start of the season where they talked about his journey and how he's back and he's your home. They did it in the Intuit Dome. They did it sitting on the concourse of the Intuit Dome, talking about how, hey, you're back home. This is basically like the preparation for his retirement tour. You know, he announces his retirement tour. Law Murray also says like he hadn't talked to the media since he did that, and had that weird party, like you said. Like it's just all so weird, and it's just so funny that like the thing that was the straw that broke the camel's back for them was accountability.
Yeah, that's funny.
Can you imagine the Clippers not wanting accountability?
Yeah.
Oh, not that team who we've been talking about since this summer.
No, it is the biggest way to tell on yourself as an organization, to be like, that is where we draw the line. A guy trying to keep us accountable. You want Kawhi Leonard to play in games? No. How dare you? You want to run a scheme and have a set rotation or something to aspire to, no pun intended. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. You know,
that pun better be intended. I'm sorry. That's
it was intended. Yeah.
The funnious part about this is that Chris Paul was still kind of playing for them, you know? And I don't know. This is a disastrous offseason for them. We were all wrong about how this year was going to work out for them.
It's just that
I don't know. Like Clippers are always going to clip, right? Like this is and I don't like to be that guy. I like to say like, oh, it's all different people. It's not different people at this point. It's been the same people now for a long time there. And it's just, I don't know. There's something there. They're going to have to move to Seattle.
Yeah, I don't know. Our old pal Zach Harper wrote an article about like landing spots for Chris Paul. This clearly cannot be like the end.
No.
Like, so I think they're going
They
to trade.
have to do right by him now, because I do think the PR at this point matters. Like, the NBA should care about this, actually.
Yeah, you don't want this to be the way that.
No.
So what are the landing spots?
What about the Lakers? Let's just do the easy thing, man. He's like, he lives out here. The guy is old. He's not going to play all that much anyway. Send him to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Or would Sam Presti want to rob the Clippers one more time? I mean, like, what if Chris Paul got his ring with the guys that he helped bring up?
I think that would be cool.
That would be a cool story.
No
I'm
way.
trying to like figure out how the Clippers can make that trade and who else they would have to include, because the Thunder don't have a player that matches his salary. It's funny, you know who makes the least amount of money on the Thunder?
AJ Mitchell?
It's AJ Mitchell.
Such a steal,
They
man.
sure as heck are not trading.
I'm sure the
him.
Clippers would do that all day.
Yeah. And it's like, and then like the other guys are the 15th pick in last year's draft who tore his ACL and Thomas Sorber. Nikola Topic, who was a lottery pick a couple seasons ago, is dealing with testicular cancer currently. And then we're already to Case and Wallace.
Right.
So like the guy that you'd want it if you're the Thunder, like the only really expendable player you have on your roster is Ousmane Dieng, who's on an expiring $6.6 million contract. And so now it's like, would the Thunder like take on
another player? Yeah.
Would have to be like Kobe Brown and Chris Paul and like send Oos to the Clippers and be like, hey, you can try Oos if you'd like.
Let me ask you guys this.
That doesn't work.
What if we're thinking about Chris Paul not as a mascot, but as a player? I mean, he was pretty good for the Spurs, and I get it. Like, you know, he played a lot with Wemby, but he was good even after Wemby was out.
Timberwolves, right?
Yeah, like, could he go? They don't need another small old point guard, right?
Yeah, that's tough.
But like, honestly, like there's some, to me, like he could go play with a smart team like the Lakers, with the way that they play off it. I mean, he could play there.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like doing him a favor.
Of course it is.
I don't know who. I mean, Jackson Hayes. Like,
I don't even know.
No, they kind of need
sure.
Jackson.
That's
Hayes.
the issue is I'm not sure how does a team give up anything for Chris Paul? I get how a team would sign him.
Yeah. I don't know. What's funny too?
What about the Raptors?
God, no.
No.
He's not going anywhere with cold weather.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it.
What's
no,
so
I don't
funny?
see it either. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this. I just looked at Skeets, our buddy Skeets' tweet. On November 28th, the LA Clippers put out that video for Chris Paul, and it said, most of all, I'm in a Clipper uniform. That's his quote. And the Clippers admin wrote, CP3 will end his Hall of Fame career at home, heart. And Skeets go, oh, when they said at home, they meant at home. I am dead. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's really funny.
Wow.
Brutal.
Gosh.
Yeah, it'd have to be a 3-player trade from OKC's perspective. So Ousmane Dieng for Kobe Brown, Chris Paul, and Cam Christie. You could technically waive Kobe Brown and just have Cam Christie and Chris Paul come onto your roster, but that's not.
I don't
see it.
know.
You don't see the vision.
You guys know that there's
be,
picks
like,
and numbers and all that better than me, but is Memphis an option?
No.
I don't. I mean, at this point, it's like
That would be that would break Chris Paul's heart, to have to go.
I know that.
God, is Chris Paul gonna, guys? Is this it actually?
yes.
Like, if we're sitting here, no. I mean, but I don't know if there's a landing
if
spot.
he'll
for him.
actually find a team, yeah.
I just don't know.
I don't know. Would he want to go back to Phoenix? Is like another option. Would he? OKC is an option. It would have to be like, hey, Chris, do you want to come here and never play?
Right.
And like you basically just be an assistant to Mark.
What honestly,
I think he would be down.
I wonder if he wants to coach.
I don't
right?
know.
Like, if you're the Lakers, maybe you just say, hey, Chris, we got a spot on the bench.
JJ and Chris on the bench coaching the Lakers, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to coach or not. But
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a sad way for it to end.
he's 41.
Yes, but
I understand. And this is all the Clippers' fault. Like,
they could have just not signed him, or they could have just done this in any other way.
Or
nobody's saying Chris Paul is contributing anything to the team. He's not a good player. He is old. He probably should have retired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is just, they did it in the exact
He just wanted a farewell tour, man.
And
that's
honestly
all.
And that doesn't even matter to me either. You don't have to give people what they want just because they want it. These guys are used to getting everything they want. To me, you could have just done this in a non-disrespectful way, and we barely talk about it.
Yeah,
we barely talked about the fact that he's retiring. We talked about it for about 5 minutes because he's not like, he retired for real like 2 or 3 years ago as like being a player that makes a difference. And so on his way out, to just like kind of give him the boot instead of opening the door is sad.
What's crazy to me is you're 5-16. You're 5-16. You're the only team that has a worse record in the Western Conference than you is the Pelicans. So
both teams that not tanking on purpose. Is tanking done?
No, stop, Dave. But like that, it's just like what is the point?
Right.
What is
the
that?
point the point is they didn't want to be like, they don't want to be accountable. They don't want that to them is more costly than actually trying to win games and trying to turn this thing around. Having to be told that like, hey, whatever you're doing is the wrong way to do it. That is more costly to the Clippers because they don't want to get Kawhi mad or Ty Lue mad or whoever it is behind the scenes that's mad.
Do you think just, like, seriously is this all tied back to the aspiration stuff? Is what like keeps like my brain?
Did they bring Chris Paul back for PR and then blow it?
I'm just wondering, like, if like, hey, you are like shaking the beehive too much, and like there's stuff that if you shake it enough, like more stuff is going to fall out.
Yeah.
More bees are going to get out of
here. Maybe he was just like, hey, like why isn't Kawhi playing?
I just wonder, like, I just can't help but think about that. And I don't know that any of that's true. This is like pure speculation at this point, but I just wonder, is all of this,
he was getting too close to it,
intertwined?
Oh no.
This is
Look, that's the thing. It's like, it's not just about the fact
Chris Paul was the inside man. He's been working for the NBA the whole time.
Hilarious.
What if he was informing?
We are putting on tinfoil hats here. Actually,
we're going to write this as a teleplay, and we're going to
the rest of these boxes are putting on tinfoil hats, rolling them up, and tightly binding them around your head. No, like I don't even want to say, like, language matters, and I don't.
Yes.
Chris Paul is not a bad player. He's not playing well, right? Like, he's at the end of his career, but at the end of the day, this is a guy with high IQ. This is a guy that if you have him around your team, he is going to make you better in some way. And so it goes back to what S is saying, the accountability. You don't even want this guy in your locker room talking to your young guys. Like, we know what he was doing. Y'all are killing me in these comments. Killing me in these comments.
Go.
But like you don't even want him on your bench coaching up your young guys. Yes. Right, which we just saw him do in San Antonio, which we just saw him do at the Warriors. Like, this is what he can do, and the fact that the team's like, no, we're good. Not only do we not want that, we don't want him on the floor, which we can understand that part. But 5-16,
yeah, they're awful.
Yeah,
I will say though, of all the teams in the league that doesn't need the Chris Paul leadership thing. Right. And if you're just saying we're in a vacuum and it's like, oh, Chris Paul came in and was doing the leadership thing and they tuned him out. Of all the teams, this is the most predictable.
Right.
It was the oldest team in the league. And frankly, like every story, I mean, like James Harden hasn't left anywhere on good terms. Kawhi seems like a total diva to deal with from all the stories and reporting that we've heard over the years, game time decision on whether he's going to play some nights. That's got to be frustrating. And if you're Chris Paul, a guy who has been, a professional NBA player for a very long time, and you're watching this stuff happen, I imagine you probably think everyone's crazy. And he's talking like he's not going to not be vocal. I don't know. This is pretty predictable, I think, if you just consider that the Clippers are going to do everything in a weird way.
Yeah, it's like Chris Paul he's being vocal. Chris Paul is being vocal. Like, all right, come on now. Like, get a grip.
Yeah,
it is. This is wild. God, I love the NBA.
And we didn't even talk about Ja and Trey and LaMelo and the powerless trio that are going to start asking for like trade demands.
The powerless trio.
Yeah. What do you? I'm sorry. Oh wow, LaMelo Ball is going to hold my franchise hostage. No,
no,
I don't think so.
No, we had Con Knupp on the Tonight Show.
That's right. Wait, he was on the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit much.
Oh, what do you mean?
That's
where you draw the line.
That's a bit
much. Very deserved.
Dave.
That's a bit much.
Oh,
come on.
That's a bit.
He's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
He's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
The nipple hits the.
Was Stephen Castle on the Tonight Show last year? Just curious. All right.
What is
there
that?
You go.
That's actually, you know what?
That's
fair. That is a very fair point.
I'm making a point here.
That's real.
I get what you're saying.
You know, got to read between those lines.
Mm-hmm. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was actually very well executed, Dave. Very well executed.
Yeah, we're all very excited to have a guy in the NBA named Cooper. I get it.
Yes, that is true. Just like how they were very excited to see a guy named Larry. 40 years ago.
If we haven't hit that nail hard enough.
Yeah, I guess that was the final thing. No, I am all in on this. I am all in on the conspiracy theory about Chris Paul, though.
Well, listen, if Chris Paul was the inside man,
like the idea that like Adam Silver got on the phone and he's like, "Look, man, we've tried everything, but you're our last resort." And Chris was just in the Clippers Intuit Dome, 6th floor, looking through the paperworks and the filings, you know, fiddling his fingers.
God, if we need a Game of Zones episode.
Fiddling through paperwork, but it's it's just great.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah. This, I really believe it. If there was one person, you guys talked about the letter of the law, right? Keeping guys accountable, all of this stuff.
Oh,
right?
man, the
There's
untucked
one guy who
guy?
can do this.
Jersey.
The untucked jersey guy? Are you kidding me? You spent a dime out of the salary cap? How dare you?
Not the hero we deserve, but the hero we need.
God, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, before we get out of here, I just feel like I end almost every show I do now with Tankathon spin. You guys?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, do you have anything to get off your chest?
Do you?
So, I mean, listen, the button broke on my electric toothbrush this morning.
Oh,
but it broke in the on position.
So you had to let it.
Can't turn it off.
So right now
it's still going. It's been going. I'm impressed by the battery life, but I cannot turn it on. I'm going to have to like disassemble.
Impressed by the battery life.
This thing has been around the planet like multiple times. I've had it for like 4 years. I mean, I've gotten my money's worth out of it. Shout out to a company that doesn't sponsor us, so I'm not going to say their name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Anybody else?
That's all I got.
Wanted to say rest in peace to Eldon Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Laker.
Oh yeah.
Passed away so young.
Too young.
57 only.
Oh wow. That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to do a Tankathon spin?
Yes.
Bring the vibes back up. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right. Eldon Campbell, you know, back like the 2 big days were actually like I have a nostalgia for those. You know, you give me 2 7-footers on the court at the same time.
Back to the basket, throwing lobs, guys. Yeah.
I used to have Eldon Campbell hooping on Kobe Bryant's NBA courtside on Nintendo 64 for real.
Could he shoot? Like, did you step outside with him at all? Was it
all? Oh no, man. This is
dunker spot.
All dunks. Yeah, come on now. Just want to give a shout out to bad GMs being back in the league, and it's like
rules.
It's like so apparent in this current draft lottery as we look at the Pelicans at the top of it currently.
Also, shout out to Andrew. No ad blocker.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. That's fair.
That's
That's
funny.
fair. I'll take that. I'll take that one on the chin.
No, I mean, listen, ethical consumption, I guess, right? Like you're at least letting them make some money.
That is not. I mean, I do want to support Tankathon.
Tankathon, yeah.
I do want to support Tankathon, but this has nothing to do with that.
No, I know.
Okay. All right. Here we go. One spin only. Here on Tankathon, the Thunder get the number 1 pick. Let's go. Let's go. Number 1 pick. So not only do the Thunder get number 1, they get number 1, they get number 9, they get number 14, and they get number 27.
This is why the league is freaking out.
You want to see why the league is freaking out?
That's a doomsday scenario. That's
Because
why Chris Paul is fiddling through the records, man.
That's 3 lottery picks, including the number 1 overall pick. Just one.
I got a text that said Lawrence Frank is Nico Harrison for Sam Presti.
That's good.
Like, I mean, look, we've talked about the Luka trade being the worst trade maybe in sports history. Is the Shea trade not close? Like, I mean,
if this happens,
it's up there.
If this happens, it's probably worse because if they get Shea, J-Dub, and Darren Peterson, plus, I think it's
a little bit different, though.
It's the Herschel Walker trade, is really what it is.
Yeah,
because for those that don't know, Herschel Walker was traded from the Cowboys to the Vikings for a bunch of picks that turned into Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. I mean, it set up the Cowboys dynasty in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
This is what that trade was. You traded away Paul George because Paul was still a good player, right? Like, still productive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was not like
set up your future.
Traded him, yeah.
Right. But you got such a huge haul that stretches so far out in the future. And it's all of these prospects that allow you to just already do the thing that they're doing and just roll it over year after year.
Oh, no, what's the Shams bomb?
What did Shams say?
What did he say?
Shams Charani say?
Giannis
Oh my
is
goodness!
agent. Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Somebody want to let me know?
Justin, Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Sarasis have just started conversations with the Milwaukee Bucks about the 2-time NBA MVP's future and discussing whether his best fit is staying or elsewhere. Sources tell ESPN a resolution is expected in the coming weeks.
Well, they are bad and lost to the Wizards. I think losing to the Wizards would make me consider my future with the team there too. Like, I mean, they really are not a good team. They're not set up for the future at all.
We're going to have to at least talk about Giannis for the next little bit here, guys.
He keeps dipping his toe. I mean, Giannis has been doing this with Shams.
This feels like the biggest dip, though. This is full-fledged engulfing the toe.
Yes. They have started conversations about it. They've started it. I would hope that they would have started this conversation a while ago.
Yeah. So OKC, well, hear me out on this.
No,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'll hear you, but go ahead.
Wait, are you telling me
the Clippers pick?
Wait, you wouldn't want to trade for Giannis?
No, we can talk about it.
Even with the Clippers pick, like, you don't have to trade anybody really. Substance.
I mean, if it's all right, hang on. If this is a franchise culture thing and just kind of how the way that OKC operates, I can understand.
Okay, just hear me out.
I will.
Why OKC would not trade? Because I've had this conversation with several people about why the Thunder would not trade this particular pick for a guy like Giannis or whoever becomes available. One, they're already the best team in the league. They're 21-1.
Right.
They don't need to go to a higher level than this. They just don't need to. Plus, let's say that the scenario that we just had actually happens in reality, and the Thunder get Darren Peterson, and they get to bring him into their building. The guy's 19 years old. Yeah,
that's maybe more valuable to you than bringing a 30-year-old Giannis.
Well, and the salary stuff matters, right?
He's cost controlled.
Yeah.
And whenever Darren Peterson starts to come into his prime, Shea will be in his mid-30s. And then you just get to be okay, now you awesome young point guard get to take over the team and get to grow with future Hall of Famer Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. And you get to actually keep the team together. The minute that you bring a salary the size of Giannis's, because you can get there by trading Hartenstein, Lou Dort, this number one pick from the Clippers, whatever it ends up being, you could do that, and they have multiple other picks they could do it. That makes sense. That gets, the Bucks something that they would want. But the minute that you do that, the clock is ticking on keeping this team together.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is why they don't want to do it. The Thunder want to be good for not the next 3 years. They want to be good for the next 10 years.
Right.
And so like trying to like bringing Giannis in just speed your timeline up like crazy. And are you like 1,000% sure that you're just going to be a much better team chemistry wise adding Giannis? Like I think probably yes, you are, but you already won the title. And you're already the title favorite now. So you don't need to do that.
And you're 21-1.
You're 21-1. You don't need to do it. I mean, the team
75 games.
The team that like has to really look at it is the Hawks. Because the Hawks could win the Eastern Conference this year.
They have the 2 Bucks picks too, right?
Yes, they have the Bucks pick next year, which allows the Bucks to actually tank next year. The Bucks have their own pick this year already, so they can tank this year anyways. But it allows them to tank next year.
I swear the Hawks have the Bucks pick this year from the Pelicans trade. No?
I thought it was last year. I think it's next year.
Let me double check this. But okay, keep on going.
Yeah. But they also have this pick from the Pelicans that they can trade. Mm-hmm. Plus, you have like Porzingis. You don't have to include Trae Young. You could include Trae Young if you want.
No, they have the Bucks pick from this year.
Oh, they have it this year. Wow. Well, there you go. You allow a path for
this
tanking
year and next year. So they have.
Trade them both back to them.
I would.
And you allow them to tank because the most valuable picks that you can have during a tanking season is your own draft picks, not somebody else's.
Yeah.
So you allow them to kind of control their own destiny. You can get back like. Alex and I talked about this on Down to Dunk yesterday. Like, include Zachary Risache, include Kristaps Porzingis. You don't have to include Trae Young. I probably wouldn't want to. I'd want to keep Trae. And then that team is the best team in the Eastern Conference.
100%.
Just traded for the best player in the Eastern Conference. Now he has a supporting cast that is actually good.
Elite.
And there is not a team out there right now outside of the Detroit Pistons that I believe in winning the East.
How dare you? I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just think like that is the trade.
What about the Raptors?
I don't see a world in which they have what it takes to get him. They don't have, unless, for some reason they decide to include Scotty Barnes in this, which I just don't think they would do. So
I just think like the Hawks is like the no-brainer spot for him. And you get to go, like, I would pick the Hawks instantly to win the Eastern Conference. If he went there. I just think
I'm worried it's going to be like, I don't know, some team out west.
Keep him out of the West.
Right. Like, I would rather the
NBA could not allow that. I mean, it would be so imbalanced in terms of the star power in the West versus the East. I can imagine Adam Silver is going to pick up a phone call.
There's too many Eastern stars. Don't you want your stars to be on TV? And be seen by people's eyeballs instead of their eyelids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal that.
So just to clarify there, the 2026 pick is a most favorable of Milwaukee's 2026 first or New Orleans's 2026 first. So they have, it's going to be the Pelicans pick. You know what I mean? Which is still a very valuable pick to have.
I was going to say having that option is incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
So totally. The Hawks are the team to me, and they make sense. Like the Thunder don't make sense because it's like, what are they going to do? Win the title harder this year than they did last year?
Well, maybe.
It
kind of feels like it.
But like the Hawks don't have a chance to win the NBA title right now, but they certainly do if Giannis is wearing their jersey. Like that's where it makes sense. It's like you have a chance to actually go do this.
And this is with Trae Young on the team.
And you can keep Trae Young.
So this is what it is. I just cooked up the trade. Just wanted to make it official on Spotrick or whatever. Kristaps Porzingis, Zachary Risache, Asa Newell, and 3 firsts that are not the Hawks. The Pelicans first this year, the Spurs first this year, and then the Bucks first next year. And that's your package.
Yeah.
For Giannis.
And then Miles Turner's on the market.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Like you might as well go get another draft pick for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's there. You know what? If if this trade season
What about Houston though?
pans out, it's going to be huge. Houston for Giannis?
Yeah.
No, I won't consider.
No.
I won't consider.
You
I
don't see
think
it?
so.
I mean,
I will.
Who would you move?
that is the big question. But they have the salary to move. They have the players to move. They have the picks to move. They have
yeah, they have.
and
it
then,
all.
and then there's the Spurs. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah, they
agree.
have-
I like
yeah,
the Hawks.
I just think it's a matter of
Oh,
choosing those people because I think Houston set up. They're similarly set up of yes, they have win now components, but they have future components that I think they want to build around.
yeah.
And so that's why I just don't know where they would going down the roster. Who would they be like? Yeah, we're good with getting rid of.
Knicks can't get there.
I just don't think they have like
I don't think so either.
draft capital to make that happen. I
No.
think they would want to. Absolutely, they would
Well-
want to.
Okay. What about Minnesota?
I
mean, you probably Randall's in there, or maybe Gobert. You know what I mean? I just
don't think that they we're talking.
I mean, I feel like they would love to do that
before the season. Giannis's name, like John Krasinski mentioned, Giannis as like if he's available, Minnesota's at least going to have a conversation about it.
I mean,
right?
they should because they don't have a real future around Ant right now.
Right.
So they need to have that conversation. However, there are going to be offers that are way above what Minnesota can offer. I mean,
Giannis is also going to get to steer this, right? So we'll probably start to hear over the course of this week. Oh, Giannis's preferred destination.
I'm sure he wants to be in New York.
He probably wants to play in New York. Yeah.
So should we think? Can Brooklyn pull something off?
No,
they don't have anything. Right?
How about the Lakers? LeBron does one more thing to help out the franchise. And he's like, you know what? I'm going there. I'm waiving my no trade clause.
Okay.
I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Warriors?
You'd have to trade Draymond and Jimmy, right?
How about well, at least Jimmy. Get a third team, send Jimmy there.
Yeah. I don't think that with the
Miami
Warriors trying to build for the future, they need to stay under their cap. They need to trust me, I don't know if the second unit, the young guys, is what Milwaukee would even be looking for in replacement for Giannis. So I don't see that being a
Kuminga.
Yeah, the
Richard,
conversation's over.
Everybody.
Click.
So,
not too much now, not too much.
I think I found the perfect trade, guys.
But that being said, Ryan Rollins was leftovers for the Warriors.
Yeah,
was.
Yeah,
right. I remember covering him in the G League, and he was barely getting time. This was the year Ty Jerome, and the guy that I don't care to remember his name, was getting 50 games for the NBA season as a two-way player. So yeah, I mean, there's been some evidence of players going elsewhere and finding success, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Tyler Hero is from Milwaukee. That's all I want to put out there.
Yeah. So is Brandon Pajemski.
Yeah. I think for the Warriors, it would be less about.
So is Bob Uecker.
Obviously, the Warriors would love Giannis, but more so, what would Milwaukee? I mean, yeah, what would they want back? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capital. That's why it's the Hawks.
It sure was.
Anthony Lamb. Yeah.
Feeling like Hawks.
Wow. Okay. More to come on this story, obviously, here on the Athletic NBA Daily. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a ton of people in the stream. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to watch this live, we typically go live around 12:30, 1 o'clock Central Time. So would love to have you guys jump in live with us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.